Hello, Biafrans. Good evening, good afternoon, and good morning, wherever you're watching or listening from. My name is Maze Udochukwu, and tonight we're going to be talking about two things. We'll be looking at the Anambra Governorship election, and we'll be talking about the 5th of November sit at home. But before we proceed, before we go ahead with the program we have tonight, I would play our national anthem. And when I come back, I will play a video of Anambra Governorship candidate. And we talk a little bit about the video and what the candidate, what they talked about at that debate. And when we finish talking about that one, then we'll look into the sit at home that will be starting on the 5th of November. So what I'm going to do now is I will go ahead and play our national anthem. Then when I come back, like I said before, we'll watch the video, but I'm not going to play the whole video. We're just going to pick some things from that video. Then after the video, we'll talk about the 5th of November sit at home. So that is pretty much what we're going to talk tonight. So let me go ahead and play our national anthem. And when I come back, like I told you before, we'll watch the video and we'll talk about it. Oh, hey, Biafra. Biafrans. I just finished playing our national anthem. Like I told you before, we are going to watch that video debate from Anambra Governorship candidate. There's a particular part I want to play for you, and after playing that part, then we'll talk about it. You know, when this Anambra election of a thing started, when they started campaigning and everything, people of Anambra, people of Anambra in particular, never supported this election. And the reason is simple. We've been marginalized for a very long time, not just only in Anambra, in the whole of Igbo land. And all of us witnessed what happened in Imo State. Hope Uzodinma didn't win the election. All of us know what happened, and they placed him, someone who came as number 4. You know, all of a sudden he became the governor of Imo State. And that of Imo State has gone, and the man is there, and nothing is happening in Imo State. And today we are talking about Anambra. Now, don't be surprised that what happened in Anambra may also happen in what happened in Imo State may also happen in Anambra. So that is why we are here tonight to talk about it. Someone said that my voice is down. I think this is far I can go, but we are working to, to get a better microphone so you can hear us clearly. But for now, this is how far we can go. But we are working on that to get a better microphone so my voice will be louder. We are working on that. So just like what I was saying before, all of us witnessed what happened in Imo State. Hope Uzodinma never win Imo State election. But all of a sudden, he was picked as number 1. And nothing happened. We complained about it for a week, 2, and a month, and everybody closed their mouth, and he became the governor of Imo State. But today, we are talking about Anambra people. And why people are saying no, we don't want to vote. We don't want we are not voting for anybody. Just give us referendum. Give us referendum. Let's choose where we want to go to. And now, if you watch all the campaign and everything that's been going on since this election of 18 started, you will notice that let me say, I don't want to exaggerate, but 88% of Anambra people are not supporting the election. All of us saw what happened when Abaribe and Peter Obi was campaigning, and you saw what happened. All of us saw the video. All of a sudden, people started singing, Mazin Nandikano is another savior, holy, holy. You saw the video. People never supported the election, and up until now, people are still saying no for that election. But here is where we are today. The election, like we all had, is commencing on Saturday, which is a few days from now. On the 6th of this month is the election. And so many people are still saying no, we don't want the election. Give us referendum. Let us choose where we want to belong to, because this election of a 10 is coming from, is INEC that is conducting the election. Where does power of INEC comes from? It comes from Abuja. And who are people that is in charge in Abuja? They are the people ruling the Nigeria. So, if maybe for instance the election is going to hold, and maybe like I said before, it's coming from the INEC in Abuja. Now, people who are at the upper power know what's going to happen and who is going to be the next governor. So these APC, PDP, ABGA, and all the rest of the thing, they have already known, just like what happened in Imo State. All of us witnessed it. Uzodimma, during the election, so many people did not vote for him. He came number 4, but all of a sudden, they picked him as number 1. People complained, they took the case to the court, and after the court, he was pronounced the winner at the court, and he became the governor, and nothing happened. We complained, like I said before, we complained for 2 weeks, 1 month, 2 months, and that's it. And same thing is going to happen in Anambra as we speak. Now, like I said before I started this program, I have the video of the debate that took place about 3 days ago. I will play you that video, just some part of the video, not all of the video because the video is too lengthy. I will play the video for you to listen to the people who wants to rule, who wants to become the governor of Anambra. Now, I want you to pay close attention to that video. And if I play you the part I want to play, then I will come back, we'll talk about it. Then when we finish talking about the Anambra governorship candidate debate, then we'll talk about the sit at home that will start on Friday. Remember, on Friday is 5th of November. We'll be sitting at home because of our leader. Our leader has been in DSS custody. All of us knows about that. So the sit at home is starting on the 5th of this month. Now, I will play you the video now. Listen carefully for this video and hear what these people has to say. And when I come back, then we'll talk about that sit at home. Now listen.
With you, Ozugbo of PDP.
Thank you very much. Indeed, about the preparation for this election, I am satisfied to the extent that enough personnel has been deployed. But I'm not satisfied that we've allowed things to get this far before taking an action. A single soul is so crucial. There's nothing we do that's worth the loss of a life. And every day, we have occurrences. As of yesterday, we still have witnessed some. So, quite frankly, here I am urging my followers, Anambra people, to come out in mass, because that's the only way we can end bad leadership. The only way we can solve a problem is we come out to vote. Not to do nothing cannot be answered. We can't yield to the intimidation and fear. And we also must ask, where are these coming from? How come we don't have any intelligence anymore? How come we are not able to identify who is responsible for this? How come we're not bringing people to book? How come everybody's getting scot-free? I honestly feel that there's a lot we need to do, both now in the preparation and going forward in solving Anambra problem security-wise. Thank you.
Okay, I have to let you gentlemen know that you have 3 minutes to make your interventions. So you don't want to, shorten your time. Let me come to Professor Charles Soludo, the candidate of ABGA. Security, like Dr. Ben noted, is the major concern, not just for the people of Anambra, but for the rest of the country. Yes, and my question is, what exactly do you think is at the root of the sudden turn of events as far as security is concerned in Anambra State? Because, I mean, the light of the nation has always been known to be, to a large extent, a peaceful state. If you can diagnose exactly what the root cause is, can you tell us exactly what would be the low-hanging fruits if you become governor in tackling security against the wider, picture in the country?
Thank you very much, and thank you for that acknowledgement that Anambra has, up until the last few months, remained about the safest state in Nigeria. And the governor has been decorated with awards and so on about being the safest state in Nigeria. And thank you very much. The insecurity in Anambra is a recent phenomenon, very recent. And I think my brother on the other right and the right has remained largely a safe haven. Businesses booming, real estate booming, hospitality industries, and so on and so forth. And recently, it is a challenge, and the governor, as the chief security officer, has risen up to the challenge. And by the way, you know that all the security agencies happen to be within the purview of the federal government. But we've got an architecture, a security architecture, in which the federal forces have been working in tandem, in collaboration with the local. We passed the Anambra Vigilante Act, in which you also have the local collaborating with them. And in terms of how we go forward, I see three buckets. The first bucket is really the formal the local security architecture. The intelligence gathering, the equipment, the military, the police, the DSS, and so on and so forth, and then the local vigilante and what that has to happen. And they're all fully undone. The next bucket is a dialogue and harmony. A dialogue and reaching some harmonious agreement with the non-state actors. The non-state actors. I mean, we'll elaborate when we probably come around to your second round of questions. And then, of course, the third bucket in dealing with it is what we have encapsulated in our manifesto. Prosperity, jobs, and opportunities for our youths. I can take on, since you have just 2-3 minutes to talk on this, but I want to say that part of the recent upsurge in insecurity in Anambra is politically motivated. There are some people who think that they gain political advantage by creating a sense of fear and insecurity so that you have voter suppression. That is what we are gathering. When Valentine talked about intelligence gathering, that intelligence is everywhere. And I want to say that probably after the election, I'm satisfied that they are deploying about 34,000 policemen and with all the soldiers, and hopefully once we... Oh, thank you very much. Thank you.
You already did more than 3 minutes. Very quickly, we'll come to you, candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Senator Andy Uba. Well, do you really agree, that there's nothing to fear about safety or violence, but with particular regard to voter turnout and voter apathy, because some people have seen a study indicating that voter apathy may also be a problem, and about 17% of the persons involved in that survey were citing the fact that some groups in the state have threatened that they may not allow the election to go on, or that they will shut down the state. Do you have any anxieties in that regard?
No, voter apathy has always been the norm in Anambra State. In every election we've done, the turnout has been very low. But let me tell you something. The importance of in every state, the governor is the security officer of the state. But let me tell you, in this case, the governor have not done what he's supposed to do. Now, Soludo said something, pointed at me. I don't know why he said that, but he has to explain that too. Because if you look at what is happening now, it's because the governor has refused to engage. When you engage, like in 2007, when I was going to run for governorship of Anambra State, I engaged the people that were involved, the myself group. I went to visit the Wazirike prison, talked to him about it. When they said shoot aside and there won't be any election in Anambra State, I went and talked to the people. I said, look, because of job, I said, let's sit down and see how we can handle this. At the end, we got this ironed out. And there was an election without violence. The governor refused to engage in that. You talk to them, bring them together, and see what their problems are. The problems are employment. There's no employment, and that's why the violence is getting what it is. So he's saying, I don't know what he wants me to explain about the violence, because I'm not a violent person. My party is not a violent party. We're not being violent in any form. So I don't know where that is coming from. He has to explain that to the public, why he's made the statement he made. But let me tell you something. Once we finish this election, which I know definitely that APC, we are going to win, we'll see what will happen. We'll take care of this problem that we have in security. Look at the day that they called the security summit in Enugu. The government was campaigning with him the day of the security summit. Why would you do that? You were supposed to go and discuss security in your state. You went to campaign instead of going to discuss security issues in Enugu, where other governors were. He was accusing other governors of not cooperating with him. How could you go there and accuse them rather than now saying that you didn't go there and campaigning? Campaign is not the issue. Issue is security. Once you have security, we'll have investment in the state.
All right. I will give you the opportunity, Prof, to do your rebuttal, but we have to, take it to Valentine Ozugbo so that he can address the issue of how he will fix.
I don't know if you people are listening. Did you listen to that part that he said, of course, I know that APC will win? I don't know if you listened to that part. Let me take it a little bit. Let me take it back a little bit so you hear what he said there. He said, what this man is telling you actually is he know that APC will win. So let me take it back a little bit so you hear what he said there. Did you hear him? He said, of course, I know that APC will win. I don't know if you people are following. Well, let's continue with the video. I don't want to interrupt. I will come back later.
Enugu. The government was campaigning with him the day of the security summit. Why would you do that? You were supposed to go and discuss security in your state. You went to campaign instead of going to discuss security issues in Enugu, where other governors were. He was accusing other governors of not cooperating with him. How could you go there and accuse them rather than now saying that you didn't go there and campaigning? Campaign is not the issue. Issue is security. Once you have security, we'll have investment in the state.
All right. I will give you the opportunity, Prof, to do your rebuttal, but we have to, take it to Valentine Ozugbo so that he can address the issue of how he will fix security in. If he becomes governor, what would be your approach, Mr. Valentine Ozugbo, to ensuring that Anambra feels safe and secure, their businesses, their persons, if you become governor, against the bigger picture, the prevailing situation in the country?
Thank you so very much. I'm not sure my mic is actually working well. Is it?
Okay.
It's not.
All right, please help us ensure that the mics are okay. Okay, it's on.
Okay. So,
please project a little more. So
okay, I'll do my best.
Yes.
So basically, the single most critical need for Anambra is providing safety, security in Anambra, because nothing else can function well. And please, let's shift away from, casting blames to accepting responsibility. The reality is that both APGA and APC have failed Nigerians. This is general. Everybody. And I'm shocked when my big brother Soludo was talking about how it was glowing economy in Anambra before election. Nothing has worked in recent times. But about security, there's a lot we can do. This is indeed a lot we can do. Just even go back to where P2B left it. Providing money monthly to the vigilantes, paying them, providing vehicles, and making sure they're well empowered. There's no community that doesn't know they're criminal around them. Just get things well around there. That's number one. That's quick, fix we can do. And then we'll move on from there to other things we can do on the economy side. We also are aware that when you have a thriving economy, when people are gainfully employed, when people are busy, they will not transcend into criminality. So we need to also identify that part. And then if there are agitations, people are clamoring for positive change, especially trying to move away from the problems that the elder generation have created. Of course, if they are the one that have created it, they can't be the one to solve it. So we need to go back to the younger ones, and this is why, indeed, I do stand advantage. When we engage these people, they will listen to us more because they feel I was part of NSAS, for instance, and because I know exactly where it pinches. And it's important that we deal with this and manage those agitations and solve sustainability. And then before we move on to creating better architecture, how can we move on to state policing where we can, I want to get to a point, I want to brag that Anambra police is better than Enugu police and something like that. So how do we begin to change these things over time? And this is why it's also important to look at the platform one is representing. Today, PDP has got the only chance of redeeming Nigeria from where it is. And this is why, this is not just about Anambra election, but in the future elections to come. We need to change Nigeria for good. Thank you.
Valentine Ozibo. So, Professor Soludo, yes, apart from clarifying the point raised by the candidate of the APC, what in specific terms will you also do if you were to become Chief Security Officer of Anambra State?
Thank you very much, Ruben. And so I have 4 minutes, 1 minute to rebuttal. And on both of them, let's put it on record. First of all, you say you engage. You only engage when you want to run for an election. And after an election, you go on voicemail. You never engaged, never spoke to anybody. This is the one, and I will talk about it, who has engaged in and out of season. You were in Senate for 8 years, not one word about the IPOB and the agitations in the Southeast. You were only engaging when you want to run. Insecurity in Anambra started with a PDP government and orchestrated by my brother on my right hand, kidnapping a sitting governor. It was a PDP legacy in Anambra. The PDP legacy in Anambra of burning down Anambra State. The violence, kidnapping, and so on and so forth on this state was started by PDP. When my brother on the right-hand side was at the engine room stoking up all the fires. So we know that. That's fact, number one. Two, is that I'm surprised, Valentine, that you wouldn't have the basic numbers coming onto this debate. And you're saying, oh, things are in the economy. Let me tell you, for the records, Anambra State has the lowest unemployment of any state in Nigeria at 13%. National Bureau of Statistics, not Anambra State numbers. Anambra State has poverty rate declined from 53% under Peter Obi to 14.78 as at last year. National Bureau of Statistics. Not our own numbers. Anambra State has the lowest underemployment rate at 17% of any state in Nigeria. National Bureau of Statistics. So, when you want to say, and then, sir, Val, it is Governor Willie Obiano's government that passed the Anambra Vigilante Act. No, wait. That's just been done with the governor, with the traditional rulers as the chief security officers.
All right, you've had your time,
so,
Prof.
Now, so what I'm trying to say is
your time is up, Prof. Sorry. Yes. Let me take it to the candidate of the APC. Yes. Yeah. You have the opportunity to, to have that rebuttal. But let me hold on, please. Let me land on my point. The PDP candidates just said that the APC and ABGA political parties have let down Anambra State as far as security is concerned. I know, gentlemen, Prof, I know you're passionate about economics and finance, but we'll get to that. What we want to deal with in this segment is security and how you will tackle the issue of security if you become governor. Please, I need you to bear that in mind so that we don't, go all over the place. Thank you so much. And so, Anduba, I'd like you to, respond to that. What would be your approach? Do you support the idea of using vigilantes, like the PDP candidate has said, if I got him correctly? Do you agree with the dialogue, as the ABGA candidate has opined? What would be your strategy in tackling insecurity in Anambra?
Remember I talked about dialogue, Richard, when I started about dialogue. I believe in dialogue, and I believe in the vigilante group. Number two, we set up a response team. Can I answer what he said about
2 minutes?
Okay, about kidnapping and whatever he said. I wasn't involved. I don't know what he's talking about, kidnapping. I had no business in that kidnapping.
Come on.
Now, there's a white paper that came out on there's a white paper on the kidnapping. Why didn't they put my name in the kidnapping? It has anything to do with it. What are you talking about? Let me tell you, I was a special assistant to the president of Nigeria in this country that knows about security. If there's anyone knows about security, I know about security. I know about security. Now, let me tell you, he's talking about saying that I'm involved. I'm not involved in anything that concerns kidnapping or anything. It's not I wasn't even in the country when it happened. I was outside the country. When the call came through to me, 2:45 in the morning, I picked the phone, said but the judge said he wants to speak to the president. I said, what happened? He told me what happened. I took the phone to the president. I woke the president and took the phone. The president asked me to call the IG of police and call Atiku, which I did. And the whole thing that's why the whole thing was stopped. So how could I have been involved? If I was involved, I wouldn't have.
Brethren, please, I want to come in a little bit, please. Let me quickly explain what this man is talking about. I don't know if you remember, there was a time Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was broadcasting, and he talked about this particular incident that this man is talking about now. There was a time this kidnapping in Anambra happened, and they called Buhari, the governor of Anambra State, who is Obiano, called Buhari. Buhari refused to answer the call. I don't know if you people remember that incident then. That is what this man is talking about now. And they are asking him here now, he's denying. He said he knows nothing about it. And this is someone who wants to become the governor of Anambra State. This is the person who wants to become a governor of Anambra State. And he's an APC member. He's one of them. When that incident happened, they called him. He did not answer. The Obiano himself called Buhari. This is what is happening in Anambra. Please send the troops, send military men. None of them answer. They did not answer. They are asking him that question here now. He's denying. He said he knows nothing about it, that he's not in the country. Because this man that is speaking now, this man, he's not in Nigeria. He's based in the United States of America. He just came back and started contesting for governorship election. This is someone who is not even with his people. You are not with your people. How would you know the need of the masses, of the people of Anambra? He doesn't live in Anambra. He lives in the United States of America. He just came back and started contesting for governorship election. Now they are asking him that question. Now he's denying. There was a broadcast Mazi Nnamdi Kanu made concerning this thing that they're talking about here now. When the incident happened, Obiano called them. The governor of Anambra, the current governor, called them. They refused to answer. They called Buhari. Buhari refused to pick the phone call. That's what they are discussing about now. And these are people that want to be the governor of Anambra. Now let's continue. And that Obiano himself, well, we'll talk about the Obiano later. Let's continue with the video. I don't want to distract you, but I think we are analyzing the video. Let's continue with the video.
There's an incident. I sponsored the bill in the Senate. The bill I sponsored was the prison reform bill, which I sponsored in the Senate. That was signed by the president into law. That's why it's a prison correctional institution in the Senate. You're saying I've been 8 years in the Senate and not doing anything. What did you do? I made sure you are the central bank governor. What have you done so far? You haven't done anything. You haven't done anything about it. You came from, they brought you to me, and I made sure.
Brought you?
My brother brought you. Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, audience, please. We need.
How can you say what we know?
Sorry, we
And
need
then-
to point out at this here right now. No clapping, no jeering, no cheering, please. Please, absolute silence in the hall so that we can appreciate what the candidates are saying. Thank you very much.
I bless you here with open hand on. You forged.
I will never forge a certificate.
Hello,
You didn't.
gentlemen.
Do you have secondary school?
Of course.
Hello,
Where?
gentlemen.
What's the
When?
Come on.
When did you graduate?
1974. Go and-
1974?
Yes. Go
That you have senior school certificate?
Go and check.
In 1974?
Go and check it. I have a
Professor
reference.
Soludo.
1974?
Go and check.
You
Yes.
have senior
Soludo,
school
go and
check.
certificate
behind your
in Enugu
podium.
State?
Look.
It's forgery.
Go and check it. The school is there.
No, you are listed is here.
I don't know
can
what you
show
have.
you
It's
to
not
you.
mine. I don't know what you have.
Professor
from my
Soludo.
neck.
I don't know what you have. It's not mine. So let me tell you
Professor
something.
Soludo,
You are overstepping
please
your
stay
bounds. I
behind
don't know what you
your
have.
podium.
Sorry.
Yes,
He's
please.
a man that
Thank
came
you.
Please
from-
stay
would
behind
have
your
come-
podium.
absolutely, came to-
Well, very quickly, please.
thank you.
We want to keep this very civil.
Yes.
Thank you.
No abusive words, no noise from the auditorium. And then, of course, I hope the candidates know that we have a technical team that is fact-checking what everyone is saying. If you make any claim, please be sure that it is correct, because we are fact-checkers. Candidate of the PDP, gentlemen, please allow the candidate of the PDP. He has something to say
thank
quickly,
you.
very briefly. 2 minutes.
Yes, I'm glad a number of people are saying these were the PDP of the past, both of them. He was actually the candidate of the party, Sam, and these are the dysfunctional parts we're moving away from. We have a better PDP today. When my brother Soludo was talking, again, going back to those theoretical statistics, when a number of people can see what is happening, we have the best unemployment. Show me where the people that get employed. Look at it. I hope you're paying attention. Look at the road networks. Why doesn't he say that we have the worst road network in Nigeria today? What doesn't he say? Why doesn't he say that we have the worst competitiveness index? I mean, 23 different categories out of 35 in Nigeria. There's several things wrong with Anambra. And if you think it's still not broken, then you're not fit to be here. We know Anambra is broken, and I'm here to fix it. This is the reason I'm on this podium. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, gentlemen. It is understandable that we'll spend a lot of time on, insecurity. One more, let's just do one more. On the issue of IPOB, the proscribed IPOB, and you have the militant arm of IPOB, the ESN. What will you do with IPOB if you become governor? Charles Soludo, you have 1 minute for that, and I'll ask the same question to all the rest of you gentlemen. 1 minute, please.
Did it me?
Yes, please.
Oh, thank you very much. Later we'll come back to the other bit. But on IPOB, I am on record. 2016, 2017, I am on record speaking. I visited Nnamdi Kanu. I didn't know him. I never heard of him. Never heard of IPOB. But when I heard he was in Kuje prison and court order to release him, court judgment to release him, and they refused, I am the one that led 12 further prominent Igbos to go to Kuje and dialogued with him. And I addressed the international press conference to ask for his release. Thereafter, people started visiting Kuje, and 3-4 weeks later, he was released. I believe that an idea, I may not agree with him, with his views on terms of the destination or even the means, but I believe that in a democracy, you put everything on the table. The Southeast leaders, religious, the bishops, the traditional rulers, the youths, all the groups, they're now working on a consensus that we need to dialogue on this to have a solution. Thank you very much.
Well, please go ahead, Valentine Ozigbo of the PDP. Same question.
Thank you very much. I honestly feel that indeed what is happening is a failure of leadership. Agitation happens when leaders fail their people. And so when there's a vacuum, Nnamdi Kanu came on board to fill that vacuum. Obviously, clearly, there are the areas agitation may lead to that may not be exactly how we would want it. But the truth is, those agitations, are they founded? In most cases, yes, because marginalization happens in Nigeria. And Anambra or Igbo people part of the victims, and it's happening all over Nigeria. So I urge for dialogue. I urge for him to be released, and I urge for IPOB to be proscribed, so that we can all sit together and solve problems and take Nigeria to another level, and Anambra in particular to where we want it to be. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The same question to you, Andy, by the candidate of the APC. What will you do with IPOP, ESN, and other non-state actors?
I believe in engagement, like I said before, like I did in myself. I believe if you don't engage them, how would you know what their problem is? So I believe in that engagement where we sit down and dialogue, because all their problem is work, employment. They don't have employment. So I believe in that engagement. So that's what we do, to sit down with them and engage them and find out what the problem is.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, we're trying to manage. You have a chance when you are giving your closing remarks, just note some of the points that you want to see comment on. But we want to talk about the economy. And let's talk about...
sorry, dear friends, I have to come in a little bit. We are analyzing the video. I don't know if we heard what the man said. The man said they believe in dialogue, they believe in engagement. And all these years that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been clamoring, has been talking about referendum, is only now election is approaching that they are talking about engagement and the dialogue and all the rest of the things that they are talking about here now. Now, you remember when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was calling for referendum? Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has spoken several times, say, give us referendum. Let the people of Biafra, let the people choose where they want to belong to. None of them talk anything. None of them responded. Now, election is coming and they are talking about they believe in engagement, they believe in dialogue, they believe in calling them to round table. It's only now that election is coming that they are talking about all of these things. What happened all these years that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been talking about it on Radio Biafra, has been preaching? Talk to your people, which is the man parading himself as a Buhari. Talk to him. Give the people of Biafra, give them referendum. Let them choose where they want to belong to. These people, none of them said anything. They never talked anything. They never responded. These are still the same people that call IPOB miscreants. They are the same people that call them miscreants. Don't leave them alone. Don't talk to them. They are miscreants. They never thought that where we are today, we will get to where we are today. Now, election is around the corner, and they are talking about dialogue and they're calling a roundtable meeting. But all we are saying is there won't be election on the 6th of this month, which is on Saturday. No election. If we go out that day, remember they have about 3,000 military men in Anambra. 3,000. Army is there, police is there, Interpol is there, Mupo is there. If we go out on the 6th to vote, they will kill you and tag you IPOB like they have been doing. So do not go out that day to vote. We are saying no to the election. If they want the people of Biafra, let them give us referendum. We need referendum so people will choose if they want to vote them in, or maybe they want the state of Biafra. That is what we want. It's as simple as that. Give us a referendum. Let's choose where we want to go to. We don't want the election. We don't want to be in one Nigeria. We don't want to renew our slavery. It's just like a slavery ticket. We are renewing it every for 4 years. We don't want to renew it again. Enough is enough. Do not go out on Saturday to vote for anybody. They only need you. They only need you because election is around the corner. When they win and become the governor of Anambra State, they will be on their convoy. They will not even wind down to see those people that vote for them. They will be on their convoy. They will take police and military men around them. They don't even use the same road with us. They fly on air. There is no road in Anambra. If you want to travel from Enugu to Anambra, the road is terrible. If you want to travel from Okiweka to Oka, there is no road. Hold up everywhere. The second Niger bridge that they have been talking about for how many years, heaven knows when that project started, is still there. The airport is not functioning. Nothing is happening. We have nothing in the east. If you are in Anambra and you want to travel, you have to travel all the way from Anambra to Lagos to go and apply for visa. There is no any consulate center in Anambra. Do not vote on the 6th. Do not go outside. If you go outside, you will be killed. They will shoot you and tag you IPOB. Do not go out. Let's continue with this video. Let's continue.
The infrastructural challenge in Anambra State, particularly roads. If you were to become governor, what will you do about the state of the roads in Anambra State? And also bear in mind the concern of many Anambrans who complain that whenever anybody becomes governor and they want to fix roads, they start in their own part of the state, creating concerns about equity, fairness, and justice in terms of the distribution of infrastructure in the state. Will you be fair when and if you become governor? I'll start with you, Professor Soludo. Again, it's 3 minutes.
No, thank you very much, and I welcome this. He said something about the road. Clearly, the Obiano's government, Peter Obi, by the way, implemented the APGA manifesto and did well, because he referenced Peter Obi. Peter Obi relatively did well. He did the roads as an APGA governor, implementing APGA manifesto. Obiano has taken it to the next level. Not only did about 17 bridges, did some roads, and built us an international airport. There is the road challenge that needs to be fixed. I admit that. I've gone around through almost all the villages in Anambra, from Olumbanasa to Owerizukala to Obaru, and all the communities go to Oka North and so on. Anambra, there is a road challenge, and when I become governor, now continuing from where Obiano stopped, we're going to declare a state of emergency on roads. So that's no question. That's taken off for it, and my manifesto has elaborated on this. But how we get that to do, part of what we got to fix, because several of these, they just say we'll do roads and do that and so on and so forth. You got to deal with numbers. When you quote numbers, somebody says theoretical. That's very embarrassing, I mean, quite frankly. I quoted National Bureau of Statistics. You got to know how many roads are in dysfunction for you to fix it. If you can't measure it, you can't change it. And therefore, we have an agenda of tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, and even alternative models, the ones that will be concessioned out, within this umbrella of a state of emergency on roads, the ones that we're going to concession out under PPP thing, the one that will do directly with government financing, and there are places that you have traffic jams that we need to lower. In fact, I had said that, the urban renewal agenda, if I am sworn in tomorrow as governor, I will start the urban renewal from Okpoko. That is the places that haven't got 1 square foot of tarred road, in spite of all the years of Ngige, Mbadinuju, Peter Obi, up till now, that we have to give priority. So, I have got it thought through, but more fundamentally, what is different between us is that I have thought through how this will be funded, which is my forte. How and where are we going to get the money to do this? Because even if you devote the entire state budget to fixing roads alone, all the roads that have been flagged off, in 1-2 years, you wouldn't finish them, the entire budget. And so there is a question about financing, alternative mix, and we have laid this out in my manifesto.
All right. You've done your time. Thank you very much. Let me take it to the candidate of the PDP, Valentine Ozigbo. Well, some figures say that Anambra State needs somewhere between $5 to $10 billion to fix the infrastructure gap. I mean, that's a humongous amount. And Prof. Soludo has just said the issue is funding. If you become governor, how will you fund the infrastructure gap? And it's not just roads, housing is there, and other infrastructure that's needed.
Thank you very much. You know, when I made the mention of my big brother Soludo being a terrorist, I wasn't missing words. I wish it could point to expertise in execution. Today, three of us are from the same local government, Agwata. In Amesi, where I'm from, my road, and Amesi road is better than Isofia roads, better than Oga roads. And these are people who have held high positions that I'm shocked that indeed they're actually even featuring on this debate, quite frankly. And also, I must say, when it comes to infrastructure, there are basic things we need to do. When you say you've planned it out, how the funding, I'm not planning it out. I already started announcing what I'm going to do with the roads. For instance, beyond deploying state resources, saving money from wastages that we see in this other government, saving money and channeling it to where it's needed, I've also said how I'm going to leverage the power of private sector. In Nigeria, in Anambra State, the biggest asset we have is our people. How do we leverage our people and their resources and their intellect and ingenuity? And what I've done is to say, I'll create a competitive environment where people are able to support what government is doing, and we encourage them, we recognize them. So if you build 10-kilometer road in your location, which Anambra people are known for, we're actually going to complement, and with that, you can have a bragging right about what you're attracting to your community. And when we do that, we're going to have leftover of places we can now intervene with government resources. The point here is government money alone can't fix our roads. So we need to bring ingenuity beyond just what we can do with state resources, how we can leverage the power of private sector and also leverage the power of multilaterals. There's no other option available. So these are the options. You're not going to borrow expensive bank loans to fix. Is it that you're fixing with your savings from IGR and FAC, or you're fixing, and by cutting waste, by the way, cutting waste is a major part of it. And then also channeling your energy of private sector, which our people are known for. We are intellectually sound and we are wealthy as a people. How do we get those wealth to work for us? And how do we now leverage the power of multilateral, especially in fixing many erosion sites that we see all over Anambra State? Anambra is totally shattered, not even broken. And quite frankly, we can't cling on to the dysfunctional past in solving the problem.
Well, candidate of the All Progressives Congress, your take on infrastructure, routes that we've been APC, rather, All Progressives Congress APC, the routes that we've been talking about, but even beyond the roads, another major piece of infrastructure that we now have in Anambra is the international airport. That airport was commissioned. So if we were to become governor, what more will you do to make sure that that particular infrastructure that is now in place is of a greater benefit, of great use to the people of Anambra? But start with the roads, and then maybe you add the airports to it.
Now, for the roads, I will declare a state of emergency for the roads. It's deplorable what the roads are. And he is saying that you've been advising them for the past 16 years. You couldn't advise them on the roads. You are saying speaking all this long English here. You couldn't advise them on what the roads are all about, on how they could take care of the roads.
You were the senator.
Well, yes, I know what I did.
And the federal road in your constituency are federal roads. Totally, you go with helicopters.
Professor Soludo, you get a chance.
Not speaking long English. If the advisor should have advised him in a way how they can handle this.
Please direct your contribution.
Should have advised them on how to. Well, we set a state of emergency on the roads. We'll make sure that all the roads are being looked at very well. Secondly, the airport you mentioned at the airport. Yeah, I'll make sure that I get the airport everything they need in order to operate, because it will be a very busy airport, one of the best airports they have. That I acknowledge. But we have to do so many things to make it work well. Right now, it's not working, and I'm sure as a governor, I'll do that. And speaking about where we will get the money to do it, was, yeah, we look at instances like plugging of the IGR. Now, if you look at the governor they're building a 10 billion conference center. Why couldn't they put it on the roads? 10 billion. That's what it costs. Now, if you go out there and look at it, there are about over 1,000 buses branded. What are they doing with that? Branded with Soludo's picture on it. Just right here, over 1,000 buses branded, and people are suffering in the state. There's no road. What are you people doing with it? Okay.
All right. Let me bring it to Professor Charles Soludo. Will that be fair? I believe Valentine Ozugbo has already made his intervention. Okay, on the issue of not just infrastructure, the economy as a whole of Anambra State, with figures that we have, GDP per capita of $1,615. The IGR as at 2020 of Anambra State stands at about 28 billion naira. If you were to compare with states like Lagos that have, boast of about over 400 billion naira, you would say that is almost nothing. How will you shore up the IGR of Anambra State without resorting to going cap in hand to the center that has been the practice till now?
Thank you very much. And I think on this platform, there is only one person with the experience who has done it before, who has not only drafted plans. I drafted the National Economic Empowerment and Development Strategy of the Obasanjo regime, and that created about 12.8 million jobs in this economy. And that was the golden era of Nigeria's economic transformation. Again, that is not, we don't deal with theoretical figures. Facts are facts. I think the first thing you do when you want to govern a place, you even want to plan, is that you must have great respect for facts. Facts. You don't just throw up and say, I can feel it. Facts. Quote your source, and then we can deal with that. And I have said, for me, coming in, IGR is an issue, and it's 28, but it's come from less than 10 billion when this government came in. And we still hope that there are several leakages that need to be plugged. We deploy technology and so on to ramp up our IGR. Certainly comparing with Lagos is a no-brainer. Lagos is about 30-35% of our national GDP. It's not comparable. The size of the economy of Anambra, we want to ramp it up, our IGR, to about somewhere around, if we can make 5%, just 5% of the economy of Anambra in terms of our IGR. And we believe that we have got the experience and the technology to do that. We have done so before. I have developed plans that worked. In the financial services, I developed plans and clinically executed. I was not named the best governor of central bank in the world for nothing. Execution was the major reason given by the Financial Times. And therefore, when I promise and I say, this is what we will do, I promised consolidation, they said impossible, we delivered. I promised to transform the bankrupt mint, they said impossible, we delivered. I promised to deliver, set up a transcore. My friend Obo Tudeko and Co said it was not desirable, but it's got done. And so on and so forth. My record in public service is that I do what I say I will do. And on this one, we're going to ramp up IGR. And of course, come up with some other creative financing, project finance, for example. It's one that I also here, I think I'm the one with the experience who has had to raise over $1 billion to set up a financial institution. And we're going to set up Anambra Development Fund, and I have started there on my manifesto, $200 million for a start. And then we want to ramp it up over time to $1 billion. I am the only one on the podium who has done it before. And for Anambra, it's a piece of cake for me.
Well, let's come to you, candidate of the People's Democratic Party. How will you improve upon the state's fiscal performance? One report says, well, the fiscal performance in the state appears to be a bit decent, but there's still a lot more to be done.
Yes.
And then you have the challenge of poverty in the state, about 14.48%. And then you have unemployment rate of 44%. If you add under unemployment to that, you have about 60.70%. Well, I'm quoting a particular source, Professor Soludo.
NBS? National Bureau of Statistics is 13% and 17%, please.
Well,
thank you, Ruben.
Don't worry.
No, what's the source?
Well, Professor Soludo,
Can you quote
as
it?
I told you earlier on,
I feel the poverty.
there are fact checkers. There are
I feel
fact
the
checkers.
poverty. I've gone on Anambra State.
Everybody is suffering.
In the backstage, and who are checking all of these facts. And you can be sure, we will put all those facts out there. Now, Valentine Ozigbo, People's Democratic Party.
I thank you for those comments. When, again, Prof was talking about being a number-driven person, maybe he's also forgetting who I am. I'm a chartered accountant. I'm a fellow of the Institute. I've also worked in the financial world for decades. And so, quite frankly, I know data when I see one. But we need to relate this to the people at the grassroots. I'm talking about having gone the entire 21 local governments 7 times and more, and feeling what people are feeling, that when we begin to relate the reality, I can tell you for free that indeed Anambra deserves far more. And in terms of awards, it talks about awards received as Central Bank Governor. I was in banking those days. I really don't want to delve into things we shouldn't be talking about today. But I can tell you, what we suffered was failure of regulation when he was Central Bank Governor. The number of jobs that we lost is unprecedented after he left. And you know why? Anyway, let's leave that for another day. And he's also spoken about Transcorp. He said it a number of times. Quite frankly, Transcorp was founded, sold shares for 7 naira 50 kobo, crashed to 50 kobo. We came on board to rescue Transcorp after he has left in government. And again, precisely, he has no role in hiring Valentine, because going around different places saying he hired Valentine. I wish Nicholas Okoye and Ndi Okerekonye were on video to have rebutted the fallacy that has come out from my dear brother and friend. Talking about how to deal with the fiscal infrastructure system we have in Anambra. It's really about growing the pie and cutting waste. I'm a global Kaizen champion. I know what continuous improvement is. When you get in there, you cut waste. There's so much waste around. We spend money on frivolities. We forget, this government inherited 75 billion in cash, raw cash. Today we are 130 billion in debt. We generate about 28 billion in Nigeria, and about 78, up to 80 billion. For 8 years, do the numbers. What have we done with it? If we do well, we can raise easily in 8 years 1 trillion naira. What can we say we have done with this economy? Quite frankly, there's a lot more to be desired. And I keep saying this, please, in the Anambra, can we move away from the past and cling on to reality? Thank you.
All right, very quickly to the candidates of the APC. Let's talk about the debt profile of Anambra. Domestic of the APC, yes, domestic profile. 59.98 billion naira, that's the debt profile from the domestic end. The foreign end, $108 million. How would you address the issue of debt? And another point that I'd like, maybe hopefully we have time for all 3 gentlemen to address this. Anambra State has about 10 trillion cubic feet of gas. That's a lot that can actually earn revenue for the state. Is that an area that you plan to look at? Have you thought about it? And if so, what are your plans for gas in Anambra State?
Yeah, that's the plan I'm looking at. We looked at that plan in my manifesto. Is there. Let me tell you something. This job is not for management. It's a leadership position, not management position. For management position, we can get him. For leadership, he doesn't know what he's saying. He's not a leader. Let me tell you. Yeah, he is not. Why are you laughing? I'm serious. This is not banks. Yeah, in management, yes, but for leadership, you cannot. I know my people know me. So let me tell you something.
I know you as a masseur, the massage expert. That's what I know you.
As well.
Gentlemen, you are addressing the audience, the viewers at home.
When you left Central Bank, when you left that place, the economy collapsed. You know that. Listen to what Okonjo-Iweala said about him. I'm sure you know what Okonjo said about you. So that is out there. People will know what Okonjo said about you. The Nigeria has to be blocked. What is happening in this state is that Nigeria is being given to private family business. That's what they are doing. That's why we're not.
Sorry, if I can comment very quickly. My question was how you will tackle the debt profile of Anambra State and what you will do with gas that it has in quantum.
Yeah, definitely for the gas, we are going to put on a system which we are working on to make sure, gas that will run into help people in developing the power and things. We are setting up an industrial park. We will use that gas to develop that and make sure a lot of people are being employed and will make money from there.
All right.
Okay. Well, do I again start with you, candidate of the APC, and then we go this way before we come back this way? We just need clarification on one issue that came up earlier on when the question was asked about IPOB. Do you condemn IPOB or do you support IPOB and similar groups in Anambra State? Let's start with you, candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Senator Andy Uba.
For me, talking about condemning or supporting IPOB, we need to sit down and dialogue. We need to find out exactly what's the problem. Killing people are not that cannot get us to anywhere. That cannot give us the independence or the freedom that we need. We need to sit down and engage and be sure what we are talking about, what their needs are. When you see that, me condemning IPOB or supporting IPOB, it's not what I'm going to say, because you need to see what the problem is in the first place before you can tackle the problem. That's what I'm saying. So I'm not going to say I support IPOB or I condemn IPOB, because I have to know killing is not right. It's not in any form and shape. Even if one soul is being killed because of that, it's not. And mind you that so many things are happening now.
Thank you very much, sir. Let me bring that question to Professor Charles Soludo, candidate of ABGA. Do you condemn IPOB's activities, the ideology, and the way they're going about putting their message across? Do you agree with their method, or would you condemn them?
Let me be clear. I am the only one on this podium who is very clear on IPOB agitation, the neo-Biafranism and neo-Zekism. I happen to be the immediate past chairman of the Ohaneze Ndi Igbo Planning and Strategy Committee, and at Ekwueme Square, we reeled out the position of the Igbos on restructuring Nigeria. That obviously says, in terms of the mainstream about independent Biafra, I am a Pan-Africanist, a Pan-Nigerian, and that I have said and written copiously about for decades. However, I'm on record to have also said that the IPOB deserves to be heard. That this thing where the idea that the agitation cannot be shot down by a gun. When my brother says you have to find out, he's living in the moon. All these years, you don't know what IPOB is agitating for. You know what they're agitating for. You're either for or not against. That's not world leadership. So for me, we need to have a dialogue, bring everybody to the table, and discuss those specific issues that are the agitations. And then get it. But I have an alternative view, and my alternative view is prosperity in Anambra and prosperity for the Southeast.
Okay, candidate of the PDP, Valentine Uzigbo, same question. Where do you stand on the question of IPOB?
Very clearly. See, in life, I've seen good men do wrong things. I've seen wrong men do good things. So it's always good to get to the activities of any group or any person and support what is good and condemn what is wrong. So there's certain things IPOB does through agitation on things that happen that I support. But when they get to some extreme, then I condemn. It's not clear. So there's no equivocation and speaking grammar about it. It's that simple. But the real issue here is, where is the heart of all of this? I can tell you, if not for the way the current government at the level, both state and federal, handled IPOB question, we wouldn't get to where we are today. Let's start by accepting responsibility. We created the extremism that things are getting to, and which is we need to now have the right person that inspires hope for that dialogue to happen. When they see you as the problem already, you can't be the one to mediate. That's why you need a Valentine, a useful person, I keep insisting, to deal with issues of IPOB. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, gentlemen. If you are just joining us, if you are watching us on Arise TV, or you are listening to us on Anambra Broadcasting Service or on Ogene FM, this is the Anambra Gubernatorial Debate 2021 coming to you live from Oka. And we have here with us the candidate of the APC, Senator Andy Uba, candidate of the ABGA, Professor Charles C. Soludo, and candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, Valentine Ozigbo. We go on a short break now. When we return, the debate will continue. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
All right, dear friends, I hope you heard what that man said when they asked him if he supports the Biafra agitation or not. The man didn't clearly answer the question. I mean, the Senator Andy Uba, he didn't answer the question. He was just beating around the bush. But let's continue with the video. I'm going to cut it off shortly, then we'll talk about the sit at home that is starting on the 5th. Let's continue with the video.
We'll still stay a bit on the issues around the economy before we move on to other points. Doctor?
Well, very quickly, I was going to raise this question, and I think I should start with you, candidate of the APC. Anambra is very famous for its large population of billionaires. But many of these billionaires, they are great investors in other parts of the country. They often just come home for holiday or to come and take care of their country homes. What will you do if you were to become governor of Anambra State to attract these investors, these billionaires, to Anambra State? Some kind of incentive, particularly now that there is an international airport here. And why do you think many of these likely homegrown investors stay away from Anambra?
First of all, you have to make sure that the security station is calm. Make sure they are secured when they come. Number two, you have to give them some tax incentives, whereby when they come, you give them some years of tax incentive that will make them to now bring their investment in Anambra State, into housing, into petroleum, oil and gas, into different sectors. You have to give them incentive that will make them come back. There's no such incentive in this government. I have to give them tax incentive that will allow them to invest their funds in the state, because they will be investing in many places, in Lagos, Kano, and different places. They're not doing so here because they don't have, one, the security, one, they don't have the tax incentive that will help them to invest their money. Thank you.
All right, let me take it to the candidate of ABGA, Professor Charles Soludo. The same question. How will you attract foreign direct investment? And what will be your strategy to encourage local investors? Like they say, charity does begin at home.
Thank you very much. Just one line. First of all, corporate taxes are within the federal exclusive list, not state. State doesn't have power to give tax concessions to companies. That's given. Now, what we have in our manifesto, we have a full agenda to make Anambra the #1 place for ease of doing business. We've got stuff, items from industrial parks that will be gas-powered. We have the enablers in terms of security. We have the ICT that we're going to have the last mile connection from the 850 kilometers of broadband fiber optic cable around the state, for people to have access to easy and cheap Wi-Fi access. Of course, once you fix security, human capital is very, very key. And then our industrial parks, where we're going to deploy captive power and in partnership, of course, with the EEDC, there is the eBay to gas plant already at Omase, ready to go. All this we're going to deploy to have for people, industrialists in the industrial clusters, to have access to cheap power. Of course, fixing the road infrastructure is one. And then we have the big elephant in the room, and which is our big venture capital fund, where we're warehousing about 5 billion naira every year.
All right, Biafrans, you've heard it from from the people who wants to become the governor of Anambra State. We are going to cut the video here, so we'll have time to talk about the sit at home that is starting on the 5th of November, which is on Friday, just a day, just a few days. Yeah, a few days. So we'll talk about it and we'll call it off for today's program. We've already taken much of our time. If you check now, we've gone like 1 hour plus that we started this program. I never wanted it to be this long, but it's okay. So we're going to talk about the sit at home that is starting on the 5th of this month, which is on Friday, and the election is on Saturday. Please, on that Saturday, already we are sitting at home. Remember, what Mazi Chika Odeziem said is, except on Sundays, that is when you will be allowed to go outside. So on the 5th, which is on Friday, we are sitting at home for our leader to be released. We are sitting at home on the 5th of November. Then on the 6th is the election. Please do not go out. If you go out to vote, I hope you heard what they are saying here. These are people that want to be the governor of Anambra State. The current governor, who is Obiano, he's doing nothing in Anambra. The killings, all the killings that's going on in Anambra, the present governor is doing nothing. This man that is in power now, the present governor, who is Obiano. You remember when he said, if the herdsmen kill you, the Hausa Fulani, the ones that's moving around with cattle, with Nama, he said, if eventually or maybe accidentally you are being killed by one of the Fulanis, that you will be compensated with 500,000 naira. You remember he made that statement. And these are people who we call our governors. And these three people now are here, still repeating the same thing. If I go back and play you the debate they had when Obiano entered power, it's still the same thing. They will promise you, we'll fix the road, we'll build schools, we'll build this, we'll build hospitals. When immediately they become the governor, you will not hear from them again. Those roads they promised to build for you, they will be flying on air. If they want to go to Abuja, they will take their private jet and they will fly down to Abuja. When they want to move around, when immediately they land at the airport, convoy is there to pick them up to their governor house and their government houses where they are staying. So it's still the same thing. There won't be any difference. So if eventually maybe any of them become the governor of Anambra State, there will not be any change because the system is there. This thing is a program, something that they have programmed. The poor are getting poorer and the rich are getting richer. It's the same story every year. If I could tell you when I was younger, it's still the same story. When election is coming like this, you will see them, they will be moving around, they will be moving from communities to community and they will be preaching and sharing money. It's just like, these days, people are, people's eyes are opening. It's not like before. If it was like before, they would be going around sharing t-shirts, sharing rice, sharing, food items, and people will be jumping up. Then at the end of the day, you will go there and you will vote. Someone who will become a governor and at the end of the day, you will not hear from them again. It's the same process. And that is why people has woken up today. Mazina Andikalo has woken so many people up. So many people. People now know what they want. Remember before, people doesn't know what referendum is, but Mazina Andikalo has talked to people and let people know what they want. This whole thing is not working. And that is why we are clamoring. That is why we are shouting for referendum. Give the people referendum. People don't want to vote. We don't want them. Give us referendum. Let's choose where we want to stay. And they are afraid. They know eventually they say, okay, let people choose where they want to belong to. They will know that majority people would want Biafra. And that is why you see them, they don't want it. They don't want the referendum. They don't want to hear it. Whenever you talk about referendum, they don't want to hear it. So please, on Saturday, do not go out. In Anambra now, there is military men everywhere. You can't move from one junction to another. You can never find any military man standing with his gun, with AK-47. So on Saturday, do not go out and vote. Stay in your houses. We are sitting down. You are not allowed to go out. The sit at home is starting on the 5th, which is on Friday. The election is on the 6th, which is on Saturday. So sit in your houses. Do not go out. We will sit in our house from 5th of November till 10th, when Mazina and Kalu will be appearing again in court. So do not go out. Do not go out. If not, you will be killed. And when they kill you, they will tag you IPOB, and it will be the end. Do not go out. Stay in your houses. That is what we are out here tonight to talk to you people, please. Especially people in Anambra. The sit at home is starting on Saturday. And everybody must sit in the house. Sit in your houses. Remember the time of coronavirus. We were locked down for heaven knows when. We didn't die. At least we managed. So this sit at home that is starting on Friday, don't go and open your shop and say, no, nothing is happening. Something may happen to you. So that is where we're going to end today's program, and hopefully tomorrow we'll come back again and talk about something else. Is already if you check here now, we started the program around 8:30. If you check now, is late already. So I will talk to all of you again. But before we go, I would like to play our national anthem. It's important you listen to our national anthem. Before we start the program, I used to play the national anthem, and at the end of the program, I repeat the national anthem. So it's important you always listen to the national anthem. So I will go ahead now and play the national anthem. And when the national anthem finish, I will end the program. In case maybe you just joining, or maybe you're just hearing my voice for the first time, my name is Mazi Udochukwu, and I am one of the representatives on Voice of Biafran YouTube and Facebook channel. So on the 10th of this month, we'll be bringing you live update from Federal High Court Abuja, where our leader Mazina Ndikalu will be appearing in court again. Tomorrow, hopefully, we may come online to still talk to our people, especially people in Anambra. It's time you listen. Do not disobey the sit at home that is starting on Friday. Do not say nothing is happening, I'm going to vote. You may get killed. And when you get killed, funny about it is, when you get killed, you will not be recognized. They will say 2 or 3 people were killed there, and that is how your own story will end. So please, our sisters and our brothers who lives in Anambra, I know so many of you who stays in Anambra, INEC may call you, come and work for us, we'll pay you. Do not go. The money that they will pay you, probably they will give you maybe 20,000 naira or maybe 30,000 naira. I've conducted election before when I was in Nigeria. That was years ago. I know how much they used to pay, but I don't know how much they pay now. But if INEC call you, especially our sisters, they call you, come and work for us, come and stay in the polling unit and all that. We'll give you 10,000 naira for maybe a day or maybe 2 days. Do not go. At that polling unit, straight bullet may come and hit you and you will die. Do not go outside on Saturday. I heard that they are deploying prisoners from Ebonyi State to Anambra State to go and vote because they know that Biafrans are not coming out to vote. So they probably may go and bring the Fulani people. You know how they used to do it? You remember what happened in Imo State when the man that parading himself as the president, Buhari, visited Imo State. All of us saw what happened. They went and packed the Alamajiris. I don't know where they got them from. And they were on the street of Owerri celebrating, welcoming the so-called Buhari. This time around won't be exception. It will be the same thing. They must look for a way out. Already they know that Biafrans are not coming out. We are starting our sit at home on Friday and the election is on Saturday. So what they would do is to go and pack the Alamajiris, or maybe they will go and bring the prisoners. Already we got the information this night that they have started deploying prisoners from Ebonyi State and other states to Enugu State, people that will vote on Saturday, because already they know that Biafrans are not coming out. So these people, they know their tricks and they know how they are doing it. They know that right from time, in Anambra, they never did any campaign. You saw the video. Some went to Lagos for their campaign, some went to other states. People in Anambra are not supporting the election. So that Saturday, do not go outside. We are sitting at home. No movement. Starting on Friday, which is on the 5th. Today is 3rd. And tomorrow is 4th. Friday is 5th, where the sit down is starting, sit at home is starting on the 5th. So do not go there. Even if you go out, your vote will not count. You saw what happened in Imo State. People that they voted, someone that they voted, they did not take the person that they voted for. They took somebody who came forth, who happens to be the Ozodemba of Imo State. You saw what happened. So this time around won't be exception. It's the same thing. It's the same people. They know what they are doing. So instead of you to go and risk your life for maybe 1 cup of gari, 1 cup of rice, a sachet of vegetable oil, stay in your house. Do not go outside. They may recruit maybe people and give them money. Do not take money. You might even collect the money, then that day, don't go outside. Sit in your house. Use the money to cook, prepare good egusi soup and your fufu. You stay in your house and eat. Do not go outside. If you go outside, the story will still be the same. Nothing is going to change. They will rig the election and pick whom they want to pick. So we are saying no to the election. We are starting our sit at home on Friday, which is on the 5th, like I said before, till on the 10th, where our leader Mazina and Kalu will be appearing in court. So on Saturday, do not go out. The sit at home is starting on Friday. Everywhere will be lock and key. If you are found on the street, what you see, you will take. So let's be careful. Share this video to people who may not have the knowledge of the sit at home. Please, save life. Share the video to people who may not have light tonight Share it on your WhatsApp, on Facebook, wherever you can share it to reach other people. So I'm going to play the national anthem like I said before, and tomorrow hopefully we'll be back again to still talk to our people who lives in Anambra. Please, we are in a critical time. Please, we are in a critical time. The military is everywhere. They are on the street of Anambra everywhere. You saw the video of the one of the candidates when they were interviewing him on Arise TV. Yes, it was it last week, and there was a gunshot at the background where he was granted the interview. So please, my people, let's be careful. So I will play the national anthem and I will see all of you again. My name still remains Mazi Udochukwu. All hail Biafra. Please make sure you listen to the national anthem before you leave. Once the national anthem finishes.